The office Christmas party was supposed to be light-hearted. Laughter, clinking glasses, music, and the awkward small talk with people you barely knew. I had promised my wife, Claire, that I'd go, even though these gatherings were never my scene. She flashed that irresistible smile and insisted, "You should come. Everyone wants to meet you." I didn't realize that everyone really meant one person, her coworker Dylan, the man she had been mentioning nonstop for months. The way she spoke about him always left a pit in my stomach, but I ignored it. That night, I'd learned why my instincts had been screaming at me all along. The room sparkled with gold and red decorations. The scent of wine and roasted turkey lingered in the air. Claire looked radiant in her red dress, her laughter floating above the music. I stayed to the side, watching her glide through the crowd, always at the center of attention. Then I saw him, tall, broad-shouldered, that self-assured, almost cocky grin. "Dylan," he greeted as soon as he spotted us, stepping forward with a little too much enthusiasm. He hugged Claire beat too long. "So this is the famous husband," he said, turning to me with a smirk. I shook his hand politely, but his grip was firm, almost like a challenge. We ended up at the same table, surrounded by her coworkers. The night started innocuously enough, casual jokes, light banter, office stories. But slowly, Dylan's humor sharpened, his comments aimed with precision. He joked that Claire did all the thinking in our marriage. Everyone laughed. I stayed quiet, letting it slide. Then he leaned back and raised his glass. "You're a lucky guy, man. Claire says you're the quiet type, the nice guy. I guess every strong woman needs a soft pillow to rest on." The table erupted in laughter. Claire forced a nervous chuckle, trying to brush off the sting. I smiled calmly, the kind of calm that precedes a storm. "You know, Dylan," I said softly, leaning in just a fraction, "I used to think being quiet was a weakness, too. But real strength doesn't need to shout to prove itself." His grin didn't waver. "Nah. Some men are just too weak to speak up." The challenge was clear, deliberate. Claire's face drained of color. I decided the night needed a different ending. I smiled wider. "You talk a lot about strong men, Dylan. Funny enough, I've been meaning to thank you." He blinked, confused. "Thank me for what?" "For helping me realize something about my marriage." The table fell silent. Claire's head snapped up, her eyes wide. "When my wife started staying late at work, saying she had meetings with you, I trusted her. Because that's what weak men do, right?" A few gasps rippled across the table. Dylan's smirk wavered. But then I checked the hotel reservations. Same nights. Same credit card. And then the parking lot security footage. I pull my phone from my coat pocket and press play. A faint sound of laughter filled the air. Claire's laughter. The clip lasted 2 seconds before I stopped it. "I won't play the rest," I said quietly. "It's Christmas after all." The silence that followed was heavier than any shout could have been. Claire's lips trembled. Dylan looked like he'd swallowed glass. "You're right, Dylan," I said calmly. "I was weak. But not anymore." Then I turned to Claire. "Merry Christmas, sweetheart. You'll be hearing from my lawyer before New Year's." Her eyes widened in disbelief. I gave a nod to her stunned coworkers. "Enjoy the party. I've already sent HR the files. Consider that my gift." Walking out into the crisp night air felt unreal. Behind me, whispers erupted like sparks catching fire. My phone buzzed repeatedly, her name lighting up the screen. I didn't answer. By morning, the fallout had begun. Dylan was suspended. HR launched an investigation. Claire's reputation at work was destroyed overnight. She came home in tears, begging for forgiveness. But all I could hear were the words from that video, words that had destroyed everything inside me. I had been loyal, patient, faithful. She had thrown it all away for fleeting thrills and attention. Months later, I don't remember that Christmas party with anger. I remember clarity. People mistake silence for weakness, but real silence is power. It waits, watches, strikes when necessary. Claire lost her marriage. Dylan lost his job. And I walked away with something far more valuable: peace. When people talk about that Christmas party now, they don't remember the decorations, the music, or the laughter. They remember the moment the quiet man stood up and the whole room froze.